Okay, welcome to Maya user interface. This is part 2. Okay, in this video I will be showing you about the toolbars in here, the viewport, and then the channel box, and then comes the render panel, and last will be the timeline down here and the mail command. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's go to polygon, create polygon sphere. Hold down left mouse, click and drag, press 5 on your keyboard to go into shader mode. Okay, there's a selection tool in here. You can click outside to deselect it, click inside to select it. If you have multiple objects, let's say this one, click and drag, let go. Okay, now if I want to have more subdivision, I go right here to polygon plane, and then scroll down here. Hold on left mouse and select these two names, and then you can put your mouse cursor here, middle mouse, hold on middle mouse and drag it to the right. Okay, so now back to the selection tool. Select the selection tool. I can hold on left mouse and click and drag to select multiple objects. I can hold on control and deselect whichever object I want. Okay, so I can hold on control and click and drag. If I double click on the icon, I go into this tool settings. First, let me reset the tool. Scroll all the way up. Okay, now it's the marquee tool right here. Marquee choice selected by default. Okay, so right now if I select the object, hold on right mouse and choose, let's say, vertex. If I check mark this one camera base, what that means is if I click and drag, hold on left mouse, click and drag. Now let me zoom in. You can zoom in by alt right mouse, alt middle mouse would be to do this, pan, alt left mouse would be rotate. Okay, alt right mouse to zoom in. Okay, as you can see that none of the vertices in the back are selected. That's because it's camera based selection. If I alt left mouse again, let's say this time I zoom out and I click and drag. Okay, let me uncheck this one, click and drag. Now all the vertices in the back are also selected. Okay, that's what camera based means. Same thing right here. If I click and drag, I click and drag. Okay, if this one's unchecked, then if I alt left mouse to go in the back, they select it in the back. If I check mark this one, then only the ones that your eye sees or the camera sees, then it will be selected. Okay, so right there. You can make the brush bigger by holding letter B as in boy and click and drag like that. See how you can make it bigger. Okay, so click outside to deselect it and I can paint it. Okay, make sure this one soft selection is unchecked. Okay, so next one is I'll skip this part. And right here, reflection, check mark it. So what that means is if I click outside first and select it, see how on the other side it's also selected. Okay, it's based on the x-axis right here, as you can see, because right here in the compass or the x-axis compass. Okay, now if I paint right here, nothing happened. But if I paint right here, it's a reflection across the x-axis. Okay, positive x and negative x. Okay, you cannot reset it. Okay, when you reset it, it only resets back to x. If I hit reset, it goes back to x. So the way you turn off is to uncheck it. Okay, same thing right here. Make sure you go back to Marquee Tool, because if you don't, then what happens if you select the selection tool, then you still see the paintbrush. So make sure you go back to Marquee Tool. Okay, and best is to always check this one. Okay, the next one is the lasso tool. I can click and drag, hold on left mouse, click and drag. I can select whatever I want. Again, you can enable or disable, so don't forget to disable it. Okay, now you can close this window by pressing the X like that. Open it, double clicking it. Okay, now this is pen selection tool. Whenever you use a pen selection tool, you should always hold down right mouse and choose either face, vertex, or edge. Let me choose face. And if I paint it, notice that I have two components, the vertex and the face are selected. The way to get rid of one of them would be to press F8 on your keyboard. Okay, now I'm in the face mode. Okay, and you can always go up here, uncheck the vertices, and now I can paint faces. Zoom in, Alt right mouse to zoom in. Okay, now by default, if I hit reset, the select mode is on. So if I check unselected, I deselect it. You can also deselect by holding Control. Let's go back to select. Now I paint something. If I hold on Control on my keyboard, click and drag, I deselect it. Okay. So now toggle. If I enable that, what that means, it does inverted. For example, if I paint like this, see how, let's say now these guys have painted. Now if I click and drag, they become deselected. Well, something else is selected. Okay, so hit reset tool to go back. Next is the move tool. Okay, press F8 to go into object mode. Here, let me rotate around. Let me Alt middle mouse to move over. Let me go up here, polygon, cylinder. Hold down left mouse, click and drag. Let go of the mouse, click and drag. Okay, now let's press E for rotate. Click the red ring to rotate maybe 45 degrees. Now if I go into the move tool over here, so you notice that the arrows are up and down or left to right. Okay, I can move it this way or that way. Now what if I want to move it along this way? Then what you do is double click the icon to open the tool settings. Then you go into here where it's the object. Click on it. Now the arrows are pointing in the right direction or in the object way. So now I can move it. Now I can move it in the in their orientation. Okay. And then let's say I want to use these guys right here. First of all, you have to right mouse button, go into component mode. Let's say go into face mode, and I select this face. Okay. Okay. So now, if I hit reset tool, okay, if I hit the reset tool, what happens? You see the Y is going up, red is going here. So if I move it, it's going to be look like this. Okay. Press Z, that's zebra to undo it. Okay, Shift C is to redo it. Okay, so now let's say I want the arrow to point in this direction. The way you do is you would hit set to face, and you click that that face. Now it's in that direction. Okay. Again, if I want to use the edge right here, this one or this one, I have to go into component of that. For example, if I want to set to edge, I have to hold down right mouse button and go to edge. Click on the edge first. Okay, now if I hit reset tool, notice that the Y is up and the blue is going this way. But if I hit set to edge and click on the edge, now it's in a different direction. Okay, so now I can move it this way. Like that. And don't forget to hit the reset tool. Okay, next one is the rotate tool. Again, press F8, go into exit the component mode to go back to object mode. So right now it's if I rotate this way, that's because it's in local axis. If I go choose the world, see how now it's moving that way. Okay, don't forget to reset the tool. The scale tool. Scale tool is the same way as the move tool as before. You can scale this way, you can scale this way. If I go into the world, now scale this way or this way. Press Z on your keyboard to undo. Next will be this one, Universal Manipulator. Okay. If you don't select the object and you choose this one, universal, you don't see anything. You have to select the object. Okay, let's zoom in, Alt right mouse. So now, if I click on this arrow, I'll move it like that. Okay, now if I click on the red arrow, I can move it in this axis. Okay, so same thing right here. If I click on this one, I move it that way. Undo it, hit Z to undo. Okay, now you see these little corners. If I you can also see the edge of the box. If I, let's say I click this one, hold on left mouse and drag it along this axis up here. See how I'm moving and changing the shape? If I move it this way, away from the object, do it on. Now I'm moving that way. Okay, now if I move it along this axis, I'm changing the shape again. Okay, if you hold on shift on your keyboard and drag it, see how it comes down all the way to this corner. Okay, it goes to the opposite of wherever this corner is, which is this corner right now. So if I hold on shift, I drag it. Okay, so now let's say I hold on control, doesn't do it, undo it, Z. Okay, now if I hold on control shift and drag it, now it goes to the other end, other corner. Okay, before it went to this corner, but now it goes to the, what it does is it goes to the adjacent, kind of like adjacent corner, well, opposite of this corner. Control shift, and right now if I double click on this icon, there's 2 settings open. If I hit reset tool, it's a local. If I go back to the world, it's like that. Now I can rotate this way. Okay, so let's say I rotate, let me go back to reset tool and I rotate up that. And I rotate it here. Let me create a new one. Go back to polygon, cylinder, hold on left mouse, drag, let go the mouse, click and drag. Okay, so now if I click on this one, I know that I'm moving in along the axis. However, if you hold on shift, you rotate inside the cylinder. See how right here, hold on shift, I'm rotating, but if I hold on let go of the shift, click and drag, I'm moving around that corner. Okay, okay, next would be the pivot. Again, right now it's in the center. If I click on pivot, the pivot is right there, so I'm rotating like that. Even if I hold on control or shift or control shift, it's still rotating. So reset the tool. Next one will be soft modification tool. Okay, if I click inside the object, I have this selected, the S, so now I can move it. Click again inside the object. Sometimes it's hard to see it. Yep. Yeah, right there. Now I can move it. Now to get rid of all the S, what you have to do is go into the outline over here. And let me close this window and expand this one. You have to select all of these, hold down left mouse and drag all the way down. Not this one, but only these 4, and hit the delete button on your keyboard. Okay, and make sure you go back to the move tool, because if you don't, you still get the S. So move tool, okay, or one of these two, move or select tool. Okay, I'm running out of time again, and I will continue in part 3 of my user interface, and thank you for watching.